Here we go again. What up, y'all? Stephen A. Smith back here talking about things that you want me to talk about. Undoubtedly on everybody's minds is Phil Jackson, Oscar Robertson commenting on Stephen Curry like he's some also-ran who doesn't ball the same way they used to. Now, we all know this isn't true. Even they probably know it isn't true. I would love to have Oscar Robertson on my show and ask him point blank, do you really believe what you just said? Because it doesn't matter really what anybody says. Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter in the history of the National Basketball Association. There is no doubt, none, that can be substantiated, no argument that can be put forth on this issue. Stephen Curry has scored around 50 points for the past 3 games. So there is no controversy here. None. And Oscar Robertson's claiming that they don't defend anymore. Man, I just watched some game on NBA TV back in like 1986 with the Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics. And the final was like 135 to 126. I don't see many games in the NBA these days where the final score is like that. Not to that degree, certainly. So, humor me then, Big O. What could you possibly have intimated to get you to say something as preposterous as Stephen Curry cannot play the way he could play if he played in your era? Because undoubtedly he would have dropped so many points on teams of the past. The athletes of this generation are bigger, stronger, quicker, and much better shooters. Let's just face the facts. Everybody knows how to shoot now. But none better than the Golden State Warriors. They play a brand of basketball that is Let me just put it to you this way. If the Golden State Warriors were a mountain, they would be Everest. And the Cleveland Cavaliers would be Mount McKinley. Not too bad, but not the best either. Either you're the tallest mountain or you're a really short mountain. There's no in between there. Nobody sees the in between. Either you're first or you're not. Now, Phil Jackson's tweet talking about how, I can't even believe this. Talking about Chris Jackson and Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf being in the same league as Stephen Curry. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. Come on, Phil. What's next? You gonna tell me that Slava Medvedenko is in the same league as Stephen Curry? You gonna try to tell me Sharif Abdul-Rahim is in the same league? Or what about Vladimir Radmanovich? Slava Medvedenko. Oh my goodness. Phil done lost his mind. Or did he? Because he just clarified his comments, saying that he's not really comparing Abdul Rauf to Stephen Curry, but rather that they play similar. Only one problem with this though. Abdul Rauf was a pretty good scorer. I'm not gonna deny that. But Stephen Curry shoots 48% from beyond the arc compared to Abdul Rauf's paltry 45%. Not even in the same stratosphere as Stephen Curry. And then you get the shots outside conventional range. I'm talking bigger than 35 feet away from the basket, and Stephen Curry shoots close to 72%. Now maybe Big O was right in this regard. Maybe people don't pick Stephen Curry up quick enough before he starts getting into his game. But there's no doubt in my mind that even if they did, he would still score over 30 on most nights. Abdul Rauf would never approach that stratosphere. So God bless Phil Jackson. I love him. All the rings he's won, the Zen Master, my New York Knicks president. Yeah, I should side with Phil on this, but I can't. Lord knows I can't. There's no way in hell I could ever agree with Phil on this issue. And there is no issue actually to even come up and perpetuate. None. Steph Curry will be the MVP again this year because he's even better this year than he was last year. Last year he was ridiculous. This year he's unstoppable. He'd be unstoppable in 2010. He'd be unstoppable in 1995. He'd be unstoppable in 1984. He'd be unstoppable in 1977. I don't know if he'd be unstoppable in 1968, but that's just because I'm pretty sure they didn't have three-point lines back then. Okay, maybe they invented the three-point line earlier than that. I don't know. I just know that when I was going to the Garden back in 1986, you didn't see guys like Steph Curry out there. You saw big men. The big guys dominated the game. Now it's the guards. So yes, it's a different game now. Get used to it. Either adapt or go away. Because the Warriors adapted to it better than anybody else, and that's why they're on pace to be the greatest team ever, and that's why Steph Curry is the greatest shooter ever. Damned be any critic, past or present, that could come up with something ridiculous like Phil Jackson and Oscar Robertson did this week. Stephen A. Remember your jerky, Alberto beef jerky, 'cause Steph Curry knows you get out what you put in. And I know I get paid good money from the good folks at Alberto. Yo, have a good week. Enjoy Steph Curry dropping threes all over your favorite team, as I know I'll hate watching him do it to mine. Peace.